for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at JetSuperstore.com.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
Well, welcome. We're here today to celebrate a tough team, a storied football program. This year's Commander-in-Chief Trophy winners, the Army Black Knights. We're also joined by Army's football's biggest fans, Bill and Steve of the radio show Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. Well, thanks for making a trip from Alabama.
Welcome, Army sports fans, from sea to shining sea. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford, and the sound, not the mere sound, the sound of my voice should let you know it's time to talk Army Black Knight football. And I'm joined by the semi-usual cast of characters: Steve Cripey, the human Ouija board.
Yes, sir. You can talk a little Army football.
Get to talk a little Army football.
Yeah.
And Barrett, the dirt pig Crawford.
Ooh. I'm still getting used to the name.
That's right. In certain circles, that would be derogatory.
That's because I'm demoted to the third chair right now.
Well, you're going to have to work hard to get in that second chair, but I don't see that happening. But folks, we're here tonight to recap a great win from Army and also to preview what will hopefully be another great win. And we have a really good shoe tonight, as Ed Sullivan would say.
Wow.
We have Coach Daryl Dixon, who's going to be joining us in about 7 or 8 minutes. He is the defensive pass coordinator for the team and also the cornerbacks coach. And after that, we're going to break down the game last week, talk about the upcoming game, and we will hopefully at the end of the show have some time to take some calls from you. And Steve, we're glad to see you made it back safely from Tejas.
That's right. Did an extended weekend with my oldest brother and his wife, and just had a great time out in the Big Bend area of Texas. Yeah, great time. But got in late last night, so I've had about 24 hours of time to prep here and off and running.
Off on caffeine.
Yeah, that's right. A whole lot of caffeine.
Well, I know you 24 hours of prep is like 2 weeks for the normal person. So I'm sure you'll have plenty of good information for us tonight.
Well, thank you.
We had a good long weekend. I hope everybody had a great Labor Day weekend. We were blessed with wonderful weather here in the Hunts Vegas area. Barrett stayed the weekend with us. And
tons of college football. If you were a college football fan, this was your week to watch college football.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this was your week to watch college football. Unless, of course, you were an LSU fan or a Clemson fan.
Or a Florida State
fan. Or a Florida State.
Or a Texas A&M fan.
Yeah, I hate that you go there. That's that's my second favorite team, and yeah, that was disappointing all the way around. Good ball game early on, back and forth, but their second to last possession had it 4th and 1 on deep in their own end, elected to punt, and I think that was the wrong call.
Yeah. That was indeed the wrong call, and this has nothing to do with Army football. I just think it happens to be funny, and that is the fact that DJ Ungamalele, the quarterback for Florida State, signed a name, image, likeness agreement with Waste Management. And how appropriate, because that seems
so I think we need to qualify that. An unconfirmed source states that.
Rumor has it.
Yeah, rumor has it, to the best of my knowledge.
Well,
got to qualify that one.
Even if it's an unconfirmed source, it's still funny.
That is a true statement.
And so, folks, tonight we're going to first be joined by Coach Dixon, but let's talk just a little bit about the game. We're going to break it out in great detail later on, but this is one of those games where as devout Army fans, many times we have watched a game where it's a inferior opponent. It's not looking like it's going to be that much of a hassle for us. And we end up almost in cardiac arrest at the end of the game, which we win on the last play of the game. But not the case this weekend, huh?
Yeah, really a dominant performance all the way around, especially offense. Offense just seemed to really be clicking on it. Bryson Daly, as we were talking about before, just seems to have found his rhythm executing the offense. Had a little bit higher expectations of him in the passing game. All the word coming out of spring ball and preseason camp was they had really worked on his throwing mechanics and that. And still a little bit off on that. So hopefully, they always say biggest improvement over the season happens between game 1, game 2. Hopefully we'll see that. And on the defensive side of the ball, just really seemed to struggle with some of the fundamentals, as Coach Munkin pointed out, just, wrapping up, tackling basics, shedding blockers, especially up front. And sort of finishing those plays, getting penetration, tackles for loss, sacks. Really didn't do a good job getting pressure on the opposing quarterback.
Yeah, you don't want to try to find the negatives in a 42-7 victory. Yeah. and I don't think there were many of them. But if I gave the defense a grading, it would have been a kind of a B, maybe a B+ with the 2 interceptions they had. But it was great Army football, triple option, straight smash mouth football.
Well, it was, and it was a wonderful weather day at Mikey Stadium. And I'm going to say this, I know you guys may disagree with me, but there was a lot of chatter on our Facebook page and on many sites about the fact that the Corps of Cadets was in ACUs or combat uniforms.
Yeah, the Corps has.
Yeah, I understand the complaints because, again, the whole rebranding from Army to Army West Point was about distinguishing, West Point from the Army, and that these are not, specialists and corporals and sergeants out there playing. These are cadets. And so on, so if you wanted to distinguish it, why are you putting them in, battle dress or whatever the current term is? Yes. But at the same time, it's coming off of a win like that. It was a little disheartening that some of their first comments was, why are the cadets in? Get off my lawn.
I don't think you'll always hear a Corps has story.
Yeah. There's that old grad segment that lives up to their stereotype, and has not happy unless they have something to complain about.
Well, and certainly that's not us. Well, hey, before we go into break, I want to mention our great sponsor, and that is Brian Hammaker and North Alabama Mortgage. I spoke with Brian today, and he assured me, in fact, that this is the time to go ahead and get a mortgage. You couldn't have a better time than this. The rates are lower than they have been at quite some time. And if you want to go ahead and take a loan out and refinance or do something to have a debt reduction plan, this is the time to do it. You could always, as the rates continue to come down, you can go ahead and do that again later on. So North Alabama Mortgage at NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. Boy, I got that.
Get.
That's all, folks. Go to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. And we're going to go ahead, Bailey, and take a quick break, and then we'll come right back with Coach Dixon. So this is Crawdad back in a few. I'll try not to be so tongue-tied next time.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high, but so is average consumer debt? Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com for more information.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Welcome back, Army sports fans. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford, and this is your place to be for Army Black Knight football, and that is Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. And we're glad to have you with us tonight. And we also have with us also one of our we've even interviewed him quite a few times. He's one of my favorite interviews, and that is Coach Daryl Dixon, who is the defensive pass coordinator and also the cornerbacks coach. Coach Dixon, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for that wonderful introduction.
Well, hey, you deserve it this week. How about that?
Yeah.
And we'll start the ball rolling. Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, good performance by the secondary. Army came out of that game ranked really high in passing defense efficiency. Did a great job. Couple of picks. What's your overall assessment of the defensive backs right now, and also given that oftentimes the best improvement in a team is between game one, game two, what can we expect against Florida Atlantic?
Well, I tell you, coming in, we really had, one experienced guy with Max DiDomenico at safety, that had significant playing time. So coming into the game, you never know what to expect as a coach, but I have a little quote in my room, and I don't want to disrespect any old time legends, but I think it's from Bo Schembechler. The expectation is for the position. And in the past, we've had some really good players, Jabari Moore, who's played the most games in Army football history, Cam Jones, and Bo Nicholas Paul, the list goes on. And you never know, right, what those guys will do until they step out there. And I think, with this young group that we have, I think they were ready to step into the position of being an Army defensive back, and they proved it. Obviously, we made some mistakes, and that's going to hopefully get corrected for this week. But I think they took on the challenge, and they really took it as an opportunity to not only introduce themselves to the Army fan base, but also prove that what the work that they've been putting in is going to pay off.
Well, hey, Coach, this is the little crawdad asking. So Jaden Mays, Donovan Platt obviously made 2 highlight interceptions, and watching it with the big Army crowd that's over here in Huntsville, we loved it. We love a big time interception anytime from the Army team. How do you get those guys, because they're fairly new to the lineup, just made 2 interceptions in the home opener for this year? How do you get those guys refocused to come back to play FAU this week?
stairs and
You're
laps.
You're challenged, right? And any mark of inconsistency is, can you come back and do it again? And that's not pressing, to do it. It's, putting every single detail that you learned in practice and putting it out and on to play. And I think a lot of times, especially with young players, right, they want to do things out of character. And I always, kind of go back to who they are, which are soldiers, right? And when you're a soldier, you train to do a certain job. And when, for lack of better words, the bullets start flying, you don't deviate from that training, right? Or people get hurt. That's the same thing with football, right? You train to do a specific job. So when you get out there and the lights are on, you do that job, right? Nothing's going to change. The field's not 120 yards. It's still 100 yards long and 53 1/3 wide. So that's the way, I try to get them to be consistent and come back. And hopefully, right, when we go down to FAU, it's going to be a really tough team to play that they take that to the field and don't make it any bigger than just going out there and playing the game.
Hey, Coach, I have a question just in general about the defensive backs all encompassing. And, as you mentioned, it's a new defensive backfield this year. And one of the things that always seems to have been to be a concern with the Army is the depth of the defensive backfield. So what's your depth? How many first, second players you got that you have confidence in? Is it a very deep defensive backfield, or is it just the first four?
You know what? This is the first time. So when we played Lehigh, it was the first time that I actually played as many as 5 corners in the game. Obviously, Donovan Platt, Jaden Mays played, Damon Washington played, Justin Weaver, who's a really talented kid that's just been on special teams, and finally, matured enough to where he can step out on the field and play consistent reps. Jabril Williams also has been a special teams guy, but he got out there and played and Jabril does what Jabril does, played hard and proved that he's possibly ready to step up and get significant reps. So I think, I have 5 guys that can go out there on Saturdays and play. Now, will it ever get to 5? Don't know, but
hopefully not.
I feel good about the depth more than I ever have, to be honest with you. They're young, but as far as athleticism, right, and want to, and they just got to, get reps and continue to develop.
Oh, that's encouraging. I want to switch gears a little bit to your role as defensive passing game coordinator. Oftentimes when we think about pass defense, we think of the DBs across the board, but really it's a coordination between what's happening up front in the trenches. Are they getting pressure? What kind of blitz package are in there? So talk to us a little bit about what your role in pulling all that together on those clear, passing downs.
Yeah. So, it's a true coordination. I work, well with Coach Woody, and we come up, with not only a game plan, but what we think will work on any given third down in any given situation. And you're absolutely right. The front has to coincide with what we're playing in the secondary. Whether we can get pressure, the different in different circumstances. So it's a full, day's work, a week's worth of finding out, what can we play versus any given team. And with Danny Verpel, our safeties coach, Justin Weaver, our inside linebackers coach, and John Lewis, our outside linebackers coach, we come up with a game plan that hopefully works. But when you start to game plan for different teams, and I know Army fans get frustrated with the access throws and the easy throws on the sideline, as we all do, right? But the pressure is going to come, right? We're not going to be a bend but don't break defense. We're going to get after people and hopefully stay on top of people and cover people. But it is a full coordination that I have the luxury of working with some tremendous coaches that we try to put together a game plan that's going to make Army fans happy and proud.
Outstanding.
Well, Coach, speaking of game plans, looking at kind of the statistics for the Florida Atlantic University Owls, it seems like their quarterback may be a dual threat quarterback. How are you getting your backfield prep for kind of that dual threat mentality from a quarterback who didn't have a lot of passing yards this last game, but could be a significant challenge?
More than significant. He is an outstanding player, right? He's an outstanding athlete. And we're going to have our hands full, we're going to go down there with the mindset that, he can't beat us with every throw, and he can't beat us with every run, which means we're going to have to do our job consistently. He's going to make some plays, right? But if we get out of character, like I talked about before, and try to do things that we're not coached to do, right? To make somebody else's play, he can hurt us pretty bad. So, we're going to have a game plan that we're going to, try do the best we can, try to stay on top, and we'll hopefully we'll come out with a win. Obviously, you don't want to give away too much as far as the game plan, but he's a great player. And he's a great player, and we're going to give it the all shucks and see what we can do.
Hey, Coach, I have a question. I was an old defensive back myself. I'm certainly not at the caliber of player. In fact, I got cut on the first practice at West Point, but that's neither here nor there. I tell people I was on the team, but it wasn't that long. But one thing, just for those who may be listening who aren't really familiar with defensive back play, and that is the cushion. And the cushion is the amount of yards that a defensive back has between himself and the wide receiver at the start of the play. And what is the guidance and the coaching technique that you give to our defensive backs when they have a wide receiver out there? How many yards of cushion do you tell them to have before, between them and the receiver? And is it dependent on the receiver, or is it a consistent method of coaching?
That's an outstanding question. And without getting too football-y,
it's a football show. Go ahead.
It all depends, right? It all depends on the person. And what I mean by that, if they're going against Terrell Owens, right, they might have a better cushion than if they were going against Johnny Joe. And that's just the honest God truth, right? We all have to play to our strengths and our weaknesses. So I curtail, their strengths and their weaknesses, speed, right, and different things, to how much they can give up, right? Now, we're going to play some soft coverages and give stuff up underneath because that's, the scheme of the defense and what's called. But at times, right, we're going to challenge people. But the main thing is, right, for us, and we don't have a buffer, right, especially at corner. If they have a guy, right, who is, fast and big and strong, and which most teams do, there's no buffer outside, right? You can kind of, hide people inside, but so we're going to do the best we can. And I tell the guys, the team is on our back, right? If we go out there and we give up 5 deep balls for touchdowns, it's hard to come back from that, right? So we're going to take our shots when we can, right, in the scheme of the defense and challenge people like you saw, last week. But also, sometimes when we give up those access throws and they complete a ball, right, they have to be consistent doing it. And our guys can't get frustrated. And I tell them, they can't get frustrated. We just go out there and we take the next snap. But it all depends on who the player is, right? We don't want to give up balls over our heads, right? That's the main thing we don't want to do. So it's every single time focusing on, right, the speed of the game. They read routes by releases, right? If number 2 does this, number 1 can only do this, right? Or if I have a single to my side and he gives me this stem inside, right? Is he running an inside route? Probably. If he gives me a stem outside, is he going deep? Probably, right? It just depends on the call of the defense. But again, we're trying the best we can and stay on top.
Just sort of listening to the fan base, the other point of discussion about the upcoming game in Boca Raton there is the fact you're in South Florida, tail end of the summer, chance of rain out there, so low 90s, high humidity. How does that impact your game plan in terms of who you have out on the field, how long you have them out there, potential rotations, and those kind of things?
Yeah, so there's going to be a rotation. I naturally want to rotate guys because I think it, breeds competition, but also to keep them fresh, right, to be able to run for 4 quarters. But I think, our head strength coach, Connor Hughes, and Jackie McCann, who's our head football trainer, they do an outstanding job with, getting the guys' education on what it's going to take, through hydration, through diet, to be able to go 4 quarters. But Coach Monken talked about this, and I truly believe our guys are mentally tough, and they do things right after going to school. A week later, right, they're out in 90-degree heat, possibly, right, with a rucksack, with a 100-pound rucksack, marching up a mountain, and if that doesn't get you mentally, and sleeping outside with bugs on you all night, if that doesn't get you ready for anything, right, I don't know if a football game when you got on little pants and cleats are gonna are gonna deter them, right? So they're gonna be ready, and no matter what the heat is, that we're not concerned with that, right? We got enough thinking about FAU. They're going to be ready to go 4 quarters, and hopefully, right, we'll come out with a win.
That's outstanding. So sleeping with bugs, eating snakes. Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, I walked 135 punishment tours, and that didn't get me ready for any football games. That is neither here nor there. Well, let me ask a quick question. I know y'all have got a lot of strategy meetings, and yourself and the whole coaching team. I don't want you to give away anything, but just a hypothetical question. What would Coach Mongan say about this week, that if we don't do this, we're not going to win?
It's always going to come back to fundamentals. It's always going to come back to fundamentals, and just don't let Army beat Army, right? We can't give them the ball. We through fumbles or interceptions, and we can't let big plays happen. So you limit big plays. You play with fundamentals. I don't care how athletic a team is, right? The team that's the best team is going to win. So that's going to be our focus, right? Playing as a team, playing together, because we have to, right? We have to. I don't think we're going to go out there and beat them in a combine, but football's not played with numbers, right? It's played on the football field, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Hey, Coach, I think we're going to let you go after this final question, but as you enter your 9th year at the United States Military Academy, how you liking it up there? You must be liking it pretty good, huh?
I tell you what, there's no better place in the country, and I truly believe that. And people ask me, what do you love about this job? Been there 9 years. I'm like, yep. And if I could be here 90 more until they cut me loose, then I'll do it. It's a tremendous opportunity to coach the greatest men in the country. I can walk to work. My family loves it here. I work for the best guy in the world, and when the sense of pride that I have to be able to coach kids that put on the best uniform in the world, the United States Military Academy, and that camouflage suit that they protect our country with. There's no greater pride that I have than be able to coach here and do my small piece, right, to try to create leaders that's going to change the world. So I'm truly happy where I am, and I ain't going nowhere.
Well, that's good.
That is great to hear.
Great to hear, Coach. And again, we thank you for your time on this Wednesday night. I'll be down at the game. Maybe I'll see you. That'd be nice. But if not, we'll be rooting you on.
You can't miss them.
Can't miss me now.
You know what? I saw you guys at the White House. I was sitting right behind you, but you're superstars. You got shouted out by the president, so I didn't want to bother you. So when you see me down there, please say hello.
Hey, I'll tell the president that you're doing fine. All right. Well, hey, thanks for the time, Coach.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it. And
thank you.
Bailey, let's go ahead and get out of here. Top of the hour break. And folks, just so you know that later on in the last segment of the show, we're going to be able to take calls 256-576-4977. I'm going to have a trivia question, but I'm going to give you a hint to the answer right now. And that is who?
Ba-doom boom.
Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. Okay, folks, we'll be back in just a few minutes to continue our top-notch analysis of Army football and have a little fun along the way.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high, but so is average consumer debt? Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit northalabamamortgage.com for more information.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
It's freezer season at On Home Appliance Center.
So if rising temps have that freezer on its last leg, check out the name brand frost-free upright and chest freezers. Best of all, Owen Home Appliance has them in stock and ready to go or have delivered. Don't let all that high-dollar food go to waste. Go to Owen Home Appliance Center and get that new freezer. And while supplies last, get a $50 gift card towards the purchase of Wagyu beef when you purchase a freezer. Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's in the name.
Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling sluggish? Gentlemen, Game Day Men's Health. Game Day Men's Health is here to help you. Braden is here. Braden, you've got the answers.
Thanks, Scott. Whether it's low T, erectile dysfunction, weight loss, or a number of other things, we have a solution for them.
It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call today at
256-850-1570.
You can find them online.
GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, what man wouldn't like to have tests done in a man cave?
That's right. Come in for your free test and consultation, walk into a world-class staff, a comfortable, relaxed environment, and we got your results in about 20 minutes with appointments less than an hour.
And the big game is always on the TV. It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call.
256-850-1570.
You can find them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Huntsville/The Zone.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner. The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hey, Huntsville. Looking for action-packed events? The Huntsville Sports Commission is your hub for all things sports. From youth events to national tournaments, we've got events that thrill and inspire. Whether you're an athlete, a fan, or a volunteer, there's something for everyone. Cheer on your favorite teams, witness amazing talent, and be a part of the excitement. Check out our event calendar and get involved at huntsvillesports.com. That's huntsvillesports.com. Be there, Huntsville.
Everything you need is just a click away.
I should come up sometimes, silly.
Okay, almost everything.
Come on, pal. Tell your fortune.
Log on today. 977ESPN.com. 977ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back, everybody, to the third segment of our little show with Barrett the Dirt Pig, Steve Cripey, the human Ouija board, the man who knows all, and little old me, Bill Crawdad Crawford, Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. And we get to do something that we don't often get to do. We get to gloat and enjoy talking about a very satisfying victory last weekend where we played the Lehigh Mountain Hawks, the bird that doesn't exist, and we beat them 42-7. Steve, wasn't that about what you called?
Yeah, it'd be a pretty clear. I think that was 41-10. Yeah. A good win all the way around. And I tell you what, it's, on our Facebook page, there were but there was, I remember, sort of the curmudgeons take on it. But to me, I take that as a great sign that, we have that kind of win, and it shows the level that we've sort of raised our expectations of what comes, out on the field and the outcome of the game. So I take that with a grain of salt, but all in all, yeah, offense just really looks sharp. If Bryson can, tighten up some of the passing games. And again, I don't think anybody's objective is to, lead the nation or even be in the top 50% on, passing yardage, but that passing efficiency, That's what we want. And right now we're not quite there. We're currently ranked 90th. So we've got some room for improvement. And I think we're going to find that rhythm. Defense, as we talked about earlier, got some challenges, some growth there that we need, especially up front, penetration, shedding tackles, tackles for losses, pressure on the quarterback, all those kind of things I want to see against Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more sacks. There were 0 sacks for this game, which don't like, but 2 interceptions. We're able to get what, as Coach Dixon said, able to get some of the backup guys into the rotation. And I mean, we had Bryson Daly, Kanye Udo, Noah Short, and Jake Rendina all score a touchdown. I mean, you're getting the running backs core going strong. And so I think a 42-7 win was just perfect to start the season opener at Mikey Stadium.
Well, you know, a lot of our people, our fans, our listeners, even ourselves,
our people,
our folks.
What do you mean, my people?
The thousands and thousands of people tuned in right now. A lot of people say, hey, you got to play Army football. And to play Army football, you can't turn the ball over. You can't have interceptions. You can't have a lot of penalty yards, and you got to score every time you have the ball. Well, guess what?
Isn't that what we did?
Wow. It works. It works.
No fumbles, no interceptions, 5 yards in penalties, and we had 6 drives that resulted in touchdowns.
Yeah,
So,
six drives, 6 entrances into the red zone, and all of them culminated with a score. But yeah, I mean, it's the fundamentals, sort of like what Coach Dixon was saying. And yeah, I mean, we're number 1 in the nation in both fewest penalties per game and fewest penalty yards per game. Love that, because that penalties are indicative of the discipline of a team. So hopefully we can keep that up. But back to the defense. Don't want to kick them while they're down kind of thing, but run defense. And I predict, looking at the stats, whichever team this Saturday stops a run or minimizes those running yardage will win the game. Because right now, that's a vulnerability for both teams. We're currently ranked 98th, and we gave up 172 yards on the ground to an FCS team. Conversely, FAU played Michigan State, again, sort of a middle of the rung. They're currently ranked 78th, so not necessarily a great Power 5 team, but still a Power 5 team nonetheless. And they gave up 179 yards. So both teams have given up a lot of rushing yards, a vulnerability there. Whoever wins that battle, I think, will win the game.
Yeah, I think tighten up the rushing defense, getting pressure on the quarterback. And it looks like this Florida Atlantic quarterback he's a runner because he doesn't have anybody to pass it to. So I think if we can get some pressure on him, sack it. But I like too, and you'll see it kind of on ESPN when they start showing this. There's been a lot more of these statistics on 4th down that says, what do? You go for it. The probability is there. And I like Jeff Monken calling a fake punt to get that 1st down right out of the gate. I mean, that's just great.
Yeah, and I told the punter sold it. I mean, man, I don't know what his vertical leap is, but he demonstrated every inch of it on that on that fake punt.
Well, I've never been accused of being the sharpest tool in the shed, and I was watching that game with a lot of.
But he has been called a butter knife.
I have been called a butter knife. But I was watching that fake punt, and I was sitting there going, "Oh man, how can this be? We've screwed up a punt." Oh, we didn't screw that up. He just ran for 35 yards.
Disregard.
Never mind, as Rosanna Dana would say. But that was a great play, and that to me set the whole tone of the game. That was Coach Monken say, guys, let's light a fire under ourselves. Let's play football, and let's get this thing done. And after that, we got her done. And well, let me ask you this, guys. Steve, what was your favorite part of that game? Normally we do the good, the bad, and the ugly, but since I can't whistle tonight for some strange reason, let's just do the good. So what?
Yeah, our rushing game. I mean, we ended up the game with 375 yards. I mean, this is old school, Monken, Jim Young kind of numbers. And there were really too many plays to really highlight. I mean, Noah Short, he's really coming into his own, and that's the great thing. We've got 3 or 4 legitimate breakaway big play running backs. And when you've got that kind of thing, it doesn't matter who's out there. The defense has to respect that. And I think that's going to open up some the occasional pass play. So, yeah, the rushing game, really like that.
Yeah, I mean, the good for me is the entire game. I mean, the offense did great. The defense, they did great, with a little bit of exceptions. But I think the biggest good for me is that we got everybody, almost a rep on everybody. You got the backups coming in to get some snaps in too, which is good for the next man up. So, knock on wood, we don't want to see a player go down, but those guys now have some reps in their first game.
I think the count was from Johnny Brooks, one of our favorite bloggers, was that 80 people got into the game. And that's a lot of people. That's almost right. Everybody on the roster.
Yeah, and that's going to pay dividends. There was some the other negative aspect that was talked about during the game was that on that final possession, seconds to go, you run it in. And and if Monken had left the first team out there, we would have been well deserving of that kind of criticism. But they got some second teamers in, some third teamers in, and effectively you're putting the second team offense out there with a 2-minute drill. I mean, that's at game speed, that's invaluable experience. So I think that was the right call. I don't think it was unsportsmanship. And I think the opposing team, Lehigh realized that, and then the coaching staff. That was just an opportunity. This is game 1 of a 12-game season, hopefully 13-game season. Great experience out there.
Well, Coach Steve Spurrier used to get accused of running the score up all the time. Even when he would put his scrubs in, they'd still score. And he had a quote that I'm going to paraphrase where he said, "Hey, I'm not sending people out there to take a knee. I'm sending them out there to learn how to play football." And that's exactly what you're alluding to, Steve. They didn't send those guys out there just to roll around on the ground and play tiddlywinks. They sent them out there to learn how to play the game. But I'll tell you what my favorite part of the game was. It was something that showed me that our quarterback, number 13, Bryson Daly, may have come of age. And that was this. I thought he was masterful in the option. I thought he really, he made one little play that reminded me of a boo-boo last year in the Boston College game, but he didn't really do that bad. I mean, he was hitting the pitch with perfect timing. And the other thing I liked is, I don't know if we'll give Coach Worley the credit for this, but I saw something I hadn't seen in a long time in an Army football offensive plan, and that was a pass to a back out of the backfield. Wow.
Yeah, that has been, the whole screen pass has been a missing element, because talk about keeping the defense honest. So that was nice to see. And we've got some running backs that can catch it and take it to the house.
Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more passing this next game. Not terribly too.
Yeah, not airing it out, but yeah.
But I mean, it is good to mix that in there. I mean, Dwayne Coleman, the backup, 2 for 2 for 22 yards. I mean, he's got that repetition in. So.
Well, Coach Worley said, and guys, we're going to have to take a break here in a minute. Bailey's about to bang his head through the glass. Shut up, you idiot. But Coach Worley said, we're going to throw the ball because we can, not because we have to. And that's exactly what they did. They threw the ball when they wanted to. They picked their spots. Albeit true, they didn't hit every pass, but they did pretty dadgum good, in my opinion. So, Bailey, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to give you the phone number. If you want to call in, I'll give you my trivia question.
Say it slowly so people can remember it.
Okay. I'll say it slowly. 256-576-4977. That's the number to call in our show for the last segment. If you want to talk about anything Army football, or if you want to answer this trivia question. Who are the 3 teams we play this year that have a an owl as a mascot?
I'm glad you clarified that.
Yeah. All right. We're going to go ahead and get out of here, folks. We'll be back for the final segment of our show. Talk a little bit more about FAU, Lehigh, the whole season, truth, justice, and the American way. Back in a bit.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high, but so is average consumer debt? Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit northalabamamortgage.com for more information.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill, legendary fun, legendary food.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Welcome back, everybody, to the final segment of Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. We've had a lot of fun tonight, as we usually do when we have a big win, but one of the things I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, and that is North Alabama Mortgage at northalabamamortgage.com. And Nick's Ristorante, I would say this, if you really want to do something nice, go refinance with Brian Hamaker and his team. And then
celebrate with a great dinner.
And celebrate with a great dinner at Nick's, because you're going to have money in your pocket to do it. And one of the other things before we jump into the analysis of our upcoming game and maybe your phone calls is Army has a sprint football team, which is a
178, I believe. Yeah, they bumped it up.
Gone up. Well, that was spoken by the true expert, Barrett the Dirt Pig Crawford, who was a sprint lineman. And Barrett, give us a little update on what's happening this week with Sprint.
Yeah, so the Sprint football team, the former 150 football team, they're going to be playing Walsh University in North Canton, Ohio. So that's a fun trip section if you got to go on that as a cadet. But Sprint football last year, they beat Navy during the regular season, went 6-1 with their only loss being in the championship championship against Navy, but it was a nail biter. So shout out to Coach West and all the Sprint football guys. Hopefully they can win it all this year.
Outstanding.
And by the way, if you go to the GoArmySports.com website, you can normally find the Sprint football game where it's going to be broadcast. Oftentimes it's on ESPN Plus. Well, Steve, we got to play those FAU out.
Who? Those effing, yeah, okay. Would it sound like you were going there? I was going, wow, man, that was harsh.
Well, FAU, by the way, is in Boca Raton, which means mouth of the mouse. But down there, the student body calls it the rat's mouth.
Yeah, we were speculating. Okay, where did they get that? Was that a reputation they had, or is there some geological formation there that looks like a mouth? Or I'm not sure what's going there, but did not know. So yet another tidbit of useless trivia from Bill Crawford.
Boca Raton, you normally see, think of Mai Tais and palm trees, not the rat of the mouse.
Hey, that's what I'm here for, is to provide useless trivia. So, Steve, what do you think about FAU? They did give Michigan State a fit last year.
Yeah, they did, and there's you can look at it multiple different ways. Michigan State clearly not the team that's going to be vying for the Big Ten championship. They've definitely fallen a few rungs there. Currently ranked 78th, but a respectable team, and FAU hung with them a good portion of the day. Again, quarterback Cam Francher, we're going to have to scheme for him, whether that's, do we put a shadow player on him or whatever. But if we don't contain him, he is one that can hurt you with his legs. And traditionally, I mean, gosh, seemingly for years, we have struggled defending a dual threat quarterback. And so that gets back to our conversation with Coach Dixon. Pass defense is a function of not only coverage downfield, but applying pressure up front. And I'm hoping that against Lehigh, Nate Woody didn't want to say, put it all out there for people to see on game tape, and that he's held back some of the blitzing packages and things like that. So hopefully we can get some pressure, because clearly he threw two picks last week. So if you get a little pressure on him and he feels like he's got to throw under duress, that's not where he's at his best.
Yeah, and you exactly what you said. You could look at this game one of two ways with Florida Atlantic and Michigan State, as in maybe both teams didn't play too great, or hey, maybe FAU's just really stepped it up. But we can't look over a tiny team like Florida Atlantic and expect to get a big win. We just got to play Army football, control the clock, rush it down the field, and defense has got to get pressure on that dual threat quarterback.
Yeah, they're a talented squad, and as we learned in the Army, there's such thing as a hasty ambush or a pre-planned ambush, but Florida Atlantic has Jackson ambush, and he's a
great name, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be a linebacker, why not have a last name of ambush? I mean, that's he's one that. He's the player on the defense that Coach Worley is going to need to count for on every play, and have a plan to how do you mitigate him, because he's got a nose for the ball. He can bring the wood, so we've got to count for him.
As I like to say, he could knock the taste out of your mouth if he wants to. And, one thing about Florida Athletics, by the way, I watched their game after Army last week. They got some pretty cool helmets. They got the state of Florida on one side of the helmet and a palm tree on the other now.
And this has been fashion with Bill Crawford.
Yeah.
From the mouth of the rat.
And don't they just have the most beautiful helmets?
Oh, they do.
Love them helmets.
Love them helmets. And but one thing Florida Atlantic does have, and I think just like with Coach Monken, coaching makes a difference. Florida Atlantic's head coach is Tom Herman. Tom Herman is no flash in the pan. He was a very successful coach at Houston with the Cougars, and then he went on to the Texas team, Texas.
Longhorns.
The Tuxes.
Those guys.
It's those of us, we call them tea sippers. Yes.
Well, I was thinking of the Aggies, but he was pretty successful down there too. And took them to a couple of conference championships, quite a few bowl games. So we got to understand that he is going to be a factor in this game. And we're talking about the quarterback. The one weakness Army seems to have occasionally is when they have a quarterback who's on back to pass, the defensive backs are way downfield, and the quarterback takes off, and he's got wide open spaces. I hope they put a spy on him.
Yeah, but to the coach there, there are rumblings down at Florida Atlantic, almost similar to what happened when Lane Kiffin made his brief. I think he was there just a couple of years, but turned the program around, made him very respectable, and I think they've got a coach at the helm that here in the next couple of years he's going to have Florida Atlantic, vying for that top third within the American Athletic Conference.
Yeah, not a sleeper team at all. And speaking of the American Athletic Conference, they're towards the bottom of the rankings from the ranking. Thank you for giving us the rankings. But I mean, looking at them and looking at the rest of the Army schedule, I mean, we have to beat them. This is our first American Athletic Conference game, ever. So, I mean, this is a must win for Army.
It is indeed our first conference game ever. And for those of you who are going to be there, I'll be there in the tailgate and parking lot number 6.
Can't miss them.
I'll have this shirt on right here, Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. Love to say hi to you if you're down there. I know there's going to be a big Army contingent there. And Steve, I'm sure you and Barrett will be with the crowd here in Huntsville watching the game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And one thing, I know one of the reasons the American Athletic Conference was tickled pink to get Army, within the family there. And one of the reasons is we travel well as a fan base. And I think we'll see that there. Florida Atlantic, let me see if I can pull it back up. I posted on the Facebook page the attendance at over this past week, and was not necessarily really big. UCF had the top attendance there at just shy of 37,000. And again, there are Power 4 teams that can double that every single week. But Florida Atlantic played on the road. But they don't tend to have a big draw there, so I don't think it's out of the question that Army could be as well representative as Florida Atlantic's fans.
Well, I'm certainly going to do my part. And hey, folks, I think I've forgot to give you the answer to the trivia question that I guess nobody wants to call in, but
it was just too hard.
Too hard.
Brain teaser.
The 3 teams we play this year whose mascot is an owl is Florida Atlantic, Temple, and Rice. And Steve, it's about time to get out of here. Tell me how many days.
We're going to have time. We can do predictions.
Oops.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go for predictions. And Steve, since you brought it up, you started off.
Okay. I think this is going to be a very, very close game. I think this could be decided by 1 or 2 points, but I'm gonna pick Army by 3, 24-21.
Oh, wow. So I picked Army against Lehigh last week. I said they were going to score 5 touchdowns, and they got really close. But I think it's going to be a close game. First conference game of the season. I'm picking Army 21-10.
And Steve, I'm going with your 3-point differential, but there's going to be a little more points out of us. We're going to get a passing touchdown, and we're going to win 27-24. And I will certainly enjoy that victory down there with all my classmates.
Yes, I will take any victory by any margin.
Okay, so now, Steve, how many days?
Sir, there are 100 and a butt days until Army beats the hell out of Navy at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland.
Woo. And that is going to be a great – it's a conference game this year.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about that, but Navy had a decent showing this past week as well. Their offense, both throwing and running, seems to be clicking. They gave up 3 touchdowns to also an FCS team, so they've got some growing pains on defense as well. So yeah, that's after one game you really can't predict, but I think that's shaping up to be a classic Army Navy football game.
Okay, folks, we're going to get out of here, and we close with this statement always, and that is this: no matter where you are and no matter what you're doing somewhere in this great country of ours, a soldier, sailor, airman, or Marine, or a Coast Guard person is standing a watch so you can enjoy the life that you live in the United States of America. Go Army.
Beat Navy.
Crawdad back next week.